Why look at Gen Mining now?
Generation Mining has one of the lowest market caps per ounce in the ground of any palladium project in the world. We're trading at $3 per ounce in the ground. The commodity is trading at $1,600 an ounce.
Generation Mining Limited is a client and sponsor of PinnacleDigest.com, whose parent company owns shares and warrants of Generation Mining Limited. Please read the full disclosure at the end of this video.
The metal palladium is in an epic bull market, having risen more than 200% from its 2016 low. The price increase is due in large part to rising demand for the metal used in automobiles, as automakers and governments continue to focus on reducing emissions. As many of you know, the vast majority of palladium is used in catalytic converters for car exhaust systems. Seda Latosh at GFMS Refinitiv was cited by Reuters for predicting the roughly 10 million ounce a year palladium market will have a deficit of 1.8 million ounces in 2019 and 1.9 million ounces next year. The potential for a lingering supply deficit in the palladium market is one reason why I'm in Marathon, Ontario. Just a few kilometers from town is the Great Hemlo Gold Camp that has produced more than 20 million ounces of gold and counting. This region is among the most mining friendly in the world. A short drive from town, a company known as Generation Mining is in the midst of an aggressive work program on the Marathon Palladium Copper Project. Gen Mining holds an option on this exploration and development stage project, and it recently released a mineral resource estimate, the specifics of which we will get into shortly. This project is far from a greenfield exploration play. It has had various companies explored over the past 35 years, which have conducted roughly 200,000 meters of drilling. In a deal that closed earlier this year, Generation Mining acquired a 51% stake in the Marathon Palladium Copper Project from Sibanye-Stillwater, a leading international precious metals mining company. With drills turning, Generation Mining has a planned 12,000 meter drill program for this season. Today I'm going to learn more about what the company hopes to achieve between now and year end. Jamie, we've arrived at the project. Thanks for having us up here. We're at the Marathon PGM property. Can you talk about the resource estimate you guys put out on September 9th, the makeup of it, and what it means for you guys?
Well, the makeup of the resource is 7.1 million ounces of palladium equivalent. Within there, it's contained 3.2 million ounces of palladium, 1 million ounces of platinum, just under 400,000 ounces of gold, and just over 800 million pounds of copper. What is also very important about this resource is 60% of the majority of this resource is in the measured category. The other 40% is in the indicated. There is very little inferred. Okay. So that gives us a high level of certainty, of confidence that this resource is in the ground.
And what's the significance with where we're standing right now?
This was a discovery back in the mid-60s, and this is the beginning of the 7.2 million ounces of palladium equivalent.
So this is where it all began?
This is where it all began.
So what is this drill program designed to accomplish?
Firstly, we're going to drill in never explored or never drilled in areas. Okay. There's over 200 square kilometers that hasn't been drilled, and we want to hit some of these high priority targets that haven't been drilled. The next aspect is to drill at depth. The majority of the drilling has all been shallow. The deepest hole on this property has been 500 meters. We are looking to drill deeper to find the high-grade feeder zone to this disseminated sulfide. We're trying to find a high-grade massive sulfide body.
Kerry, it's great to be with you again. You've co-founded some notable mining companies from Thompson Creek to Wheaton River. Jamie outlined the resource estimate. Obviously, being in mining-friendly Ontario, that lends itself to many advantages. Can you talk about sort of what brought you to this project, wanting to get involved at this stage?
Whenever I look at a project, I look at the potential for that project to be a mine. Mm-hmm. And if it's going to be a mine, I have to go through my list, and my list is what I call mine killers. Yeah. And that list includes things like community relations, size, location, laws of the land, metallurgy. Any single one of those things can kill any project. So if it doesn't have all of those, I'm not interested. This one had everything.
When we look at Generation Mining over the next 3 to 6 months, from a milestone standpoint, what are you guys hoping to achieve?
A lot, but two main things. The first one being the preliminary economic assessment. We want to find out what the numbers look like at the higher palladium prices that we have today compared to back in the day when palladium was $300, $500 an ounce and they were doing studies. Studies have never been done at today's prices, so we're going to do that.
Now, you've done some large deals in your career. Talk about the relationship with Sibanye-Stillwater. What kind of advantages does a huge partner like that bring to the table?
Well, as you know, Sibanye is one of the largest palladium producers in the world. And having a partner like that is immeasurable. You can't put a price on it. They can help us market concentrate, for example. They can help us with financing. They can help us with a multitude of different things that a junior company doesn't have on its own.
So we're in GEN Mining's Marathon office. We're lucky to be joined by the mayor of town here. Rick, would you just sort of talk to us about what a new mine potentially in the future might mean for the community?
Absolutely. I mean, Marathon is looking at opportunities, obviously economically, for the community, as well as job creation and continuing to retain our youth. That's the biggest thing for Northwestern Ontario, is we all see youth migration to the south or where the jobs are. We need to retain the jobs here. So with GEN Mining coming to Marathon, looking at the proponents and the opportunities that are outside of our backyard, literally our backyard, 4 or 5 kilometers from the main center of town, it's a great opportunity. So we're looking and excited about the prospects of GEN Mining coming to Marathon and developing a new mine site.
So Gary, you come into the boardroom, this is the elephant in the room, it just immediately catches your eye. What is this?
It's a ceremonial headdress that was donated to the project by Mitsubishi in 2012, when Mitsubishi invested $85 million into this project. They've since walked away from it because at the time it wasn't economic, at much lower palladium prices.
So Gary, this is what it's all about. I'm holding a catalytic converter in my hand. This is where, approximately 80% of the palladium goes. How does it work?
Catalytic converter, and this is the palladium right here inside, and this is a cutaway of a catalytic converter. So it works by, it runs before the muffler in a car. The exhaust comes through here, and it converts the nitrous oxide and the carbon monoxide, which are both toxic, into nitrogen and carbon dioxide, which are no longer toxic. And as the car regulations call for purer and purer air, the palladium loading has been going up. So it used to be 3 grams per car, now it's 5 grams per car, probably going to 7 grams per car in the next 4 or 5 years.
Looking into 2020, when you think about permitting and sustainability, what are some of the next steps?
So we've done a lot of baseline studies already and impact assessments. So if GEN Mining does make that positive production decision, then we can pretty much hit the ground running at that point.
So GEN Mining can move its partnership up to from 51% to 80% after spending $10 million in 4 years. I know Sibanye has an earn-in agreement where they can earn some back. How does that work?
So on a positive production decision, Sibanye can increase their ownership 31%. So they can become operators, they become 51%, and we become minority partners at 49%. In order for this to happen, we believe the terms are quite onerous upon Sibanye. They must pay 31% of the capex that is dictated in the feasibility study. So it's a one-time trigger rate that we give to Sibanye on a positive production decision if they want to participate and use that back-end rate. Looking into the future, sort of the near term, what are some of the catalysts that investors have to look forward to? Well, the catalysts are drill results. We talked about the 12,000 meter drill program, so we're hoping for drill results all through the third and fourth quarter. We're hopeful that the PEA should be out before the end of the fourth quarter. And we're also hoping that people start taking notice to the palladium market.
Palladium's price has catapulted higher in recent years on the back of a global supply shortfall, which may not improve in the near future. Generation Mining has acquired a significant interest in an exploration and development stage project here in a prolific mining region of Canada, which it hopes one day will contribute to global palladium supply. The next few months could be important ones for the company as they continue drilling and plan to begin a preliminary economic assessment on the Marathon PGM property.